Hello, everybody. Yes, it is Thursday night. Come on in here. For those of you that'll be watching this later, it might not be Thursday night, but welcome to the Thursday Night Live. And if you watch it on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, welcome and come on in. We shall talk some dub. Lens, Rita, what's up? How are y'all doing? Michelle? Excited to jump in here and talk to some cool person. It's J. Anna. Hello. Cool. It's been a cold day here in Oklahoma City. It is not your favorite type of weather. So, I think it's going to be 70 on Sunday. We'll bring in the lovely Miss Jana. See if we can get this internet connected.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what's up?
Weird.
How are you?
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am just wonderful. I'm excited to get to talk to you.
Yes, very exciting. Let me see if I can turn my volume up. It got quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have mine all the way up, and I try to talk loud, so.
Okay, I got it. Woo! Oh man, this is so weird.
It's funny, like, how people that talk on the internet all the time, I mean, like, for years you've talked on the internet, you were like, I haven't done lives very much. This might be different. I'm like, whatever. You're just talking to me, so.
Yeah, right. There's like all these people down there.
We won't pay attention to them. Okay. Well, I'm so glad that we could do this. I know we wanted to do it, and we're like, we'll get it planned up, and then, the powers that be say, hey, we want you to do this, and you're like, hey, Phil, I can't do this because I got to do this, but I can't talk about it, so.
I know that. I'm like, sorry, Phil, but I can't tell you details.
Oh man, yeah, it's you got more clout when your name is just WW and not www.phil. So cool. Well, I start these all the same way, and then we'll go from there. And I want to talk about lots of different various things, but I just want to know, like, kind of where your first introduction to life with WW was. Like, if you were a kid or an adult or a teenager or whatever, like how WW came into your life.
That's a good question. I feel like I probably knew about it when I was a kid, but
yeah.
The first time I officially joined was when my mom's friend suggested it to me. So It's kind of a negative taste in the mouth when someone just kind of like suggests it without you not being like, oh, I need to lose weight. It was just like, hey, you should do Weight Watchers. So yeah, that's how I was introduced. But she paid for it, so I was like, all right, well, if someone else is paying for it, let's see what this is about.
Okay. Well, how long ago was that?
I think it was 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a while ago. And I had some success on it. But I just like wasn't in it for myself, like mentally, because like I said, someone else put it on me. So I ended up not going anymore, and just gaining more weight. You know how it goes. And I was like, that Weight Watchers thing, that kind of worked. So I joined later, a few years later, on my own, paid for it myself, and I was mentally in it, and it was a different experience.
Yeah.
A good one.
So how long have you been consistently on WW now?
So the second time I joined and was like kicking butt, I got pregnant. So then I had to quit. And then I've been on it now consistently for 4 years. And I was like, no more quitting. Like, you're on it for life. So
yeah. Absolutely.
Third final time.
Third and final time. Well, this is my second and final time. So it's all worth it. So tell me, like, where were you at, like, after having Kosi and knowing that you wanted to go back? Like, how were you feeling at that point? Was that like your highest weight ever, or?
Yeah, it was my highest weight ever. I think I got to like 315 when I was pregnant. And then when I had her, I lost like a bunch of weight. And then, it just shot right back up. And I got back to 300 with no baby.
Yeah.
Like, this is not making me feel good. I was just in a dark place. So
Yeah. So yeah. So were you like, as far as like your food habits and that kind of stuff, like were you just not taking care of yourself in any way, like physically, mentally, activity, food wise? Is just
yeah, all the things. Fast
all
food. No activity whatsoever. Like, going up the stairs was good for a week.
yeah.
Yeah, and then just mentally not taking care of myself either.
Yeah. Cool deal. So when you first started, that was well before freestyle. Was it just like Beyond the Scale or something like that?
I think it was before Beyond the Scale. I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, that's what it was when I first did it, and then I did that, and then I did freestyle, and then now of course my WW. So,
Yeah.
But it was the app and Smart Points and all that.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
I
cool.
think it was Points Plus, and then
Points
Smart
Plus.
Points, and then freestyle.
Okay, cool. So,
programs.
So you walk in, you got the kid, that kind of stuff. What did you change? Like, because I think a lot of people are very curious about how someone that is that in that state, because there's a lot of people that find themselves in that state of, I weigh this number and this and this and this is not going in my life. So what did you originally change?
I guess the first thing to change is your mindset, because if that's not changing, then you're not going to take your first step into the studio.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody has their own breaking point. I don't really necessarily remember like me being like, let's do it, I'm going in tomorrow. Yeah. But I mean, obviously I finally got to my breaking point where I knew I needed to do something. So after your mindset change, I think food was definitely, I don't think I started exercising until well into my journey, but
yeah,
just like tracking like what you normally eat and being like, wow, that's like my entire day in that one chocolate milk container.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
Like blowing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for most newbies that it does need to be tracking. And also I know that you've spoke about this before, that you actually enjoy attending workshops.
You say that like you're surprised.
No. I because there's some people that like don't do that, and like I've been to a workshop every week since I started, except for ones when I was out of town working. So I mean, it's that important to me, and I'm a coach, so I still go to my meeting.
Yeah, I mean, right there with you. Okay, I do have to say hi, Christy. My best friend's on here. Sorry, she's not.
What's up?
So that means a lot. Okay. Yeah. No workshops. Like I'll say it a million times. Like I would not be where I am without workshops. Like I need a stranger weighing me in. Obviously, they're not a stranger anymore. But I need to have somebody else looking at my weight and seeing it change each week, because that holds me accountable. And then just when you're in there and you're hearing everybody's stuff, you're just like, yes, let's do this, guys. It's a good feeling, not feeling alone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I mean, like I might say some things along this way that you're like, well, I don't know that I believe that about myself, but this is Phil's perception about you after I don't know, probably like 2 years of consuming your content. So I feel like that I know you pretty well. So anyway, I was
nervous. What are you gonna say?
No. I'm not gonna say anything bad. I'm gonna say all good things, 100% good things.
Okay.
So what I would say is, like, you are one of the, in my opinion, one of the leading ambassadors for mindset. And now I'm not talking about a WW ambassador, but I'm just talking about an overarching understanding the value of having a strong mindset. And I know that you might think, well, I've been through lots of struggles and that kind of stuff. And I think that is healthy, because I've seen you like go through, visually seen, as you told stories about the things that you've gone through and that kind of stuff, and you still didn't give up, and you still didn't quit, and you still didn't, all the things. So I just
You
wonder
do this
like
on
how.
every live? You just like say really sweet stuff to everybody? I don't know how to take compliments, so I'm like, okay,
Ah,
you're making me feel all special.
nah, no. I do say things like this on every live, and I try to be as extremely as genuine as I possibly can about that stuff. And what I have to talk about you later, I've already prepped you for and told you that I have a sweet moment that I want to talk about. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, and I'm not talking about that right now.
You're making me
But
nervous. My hands are really
no,
sweaty. Okay.
yeah. So anyway, we got an hour, so don't
Okay.
worry. We'll get to all the stuff. So, but no, really, it's. And the thing is, the reason I say all the things most of the time is because I want to get from your perspective, the thing that I want you to talk about is how you grew that mentality. The mentality that says that I can go on a vacation in Montana and I can eat everything and I can come back and I can get back into this life that I love and I can equally love both of them, because I think there's a lot of people that get stuck in that mentality that only is attached to where they were, that doesn't show the growth of all those days that you went through, all the things to get to where you were, to where you can have the freedom to go do the things we love, you know? So talk about that.
Gosh, that's a good one. This words are hard right now. Okay, let's see. I mean, yeah, that's like my journey. I haven't found the complete balance, but it's so important to me to be able to go on vacation and not track and enjoy things like I used to, but then always remember to like get back to it.
Yeah.
I think one thing that is hard on here is a lot of the time people just see the like going out and like gaining weight on vacation, and then they don't necessarily see how hard I'll kick butt when I get back to it. And then they're just like, oh, you just eat pizza all day and you're losing weight. I'm like, no, you got to sacrifice other times as well. It's like,
yeah.
My friend Kaylee once said, like, you can have the cake, you just can't eat the cake every day. And
Yeah.
it's like, for me, yes, that pizza, so it's like you can still enjoy, but you just have to find that sweet balance that I'm still working on.
Yeah.
But for me, that's kind of where I put in like the working out aspect of it. Like if I'm gonna have those indulgences, I'm definitely gonna put in some work at the gym the rest of the week. And say no when someone asks me if I want a free cupcake. I mean, I might take it, but I won't eat it right then, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've known people on this journey that have been extremely strict, and they've had great success, but it doesn't necessarily always last in the long run. So for me, it's just like, remember, this is your life.
Yeah.
Like, let's just take it slow. Let's enjoy it. And like, let's actually try and learn and change how you want to live so it works in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. So where along the way do you feel like that if you were to like start to measure your happiness meter, clearly having your baby, very, very happy day, walking into the room weighing 305 pounds, not having a baby in you, maybe not a happy day. But you did a lot of work, and somewhere along the way, happiness came, and happiness came long before you ever got to that low number, right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, you would probably say that you have a lower number you still want.
Yes.
Okay, but I mean, okay, so I'm always digging. Okay, so but the thing I'm trying to get to is you are really good at showing us how to live life, and I want that to be so that, you know, as people come on here and listen, people that follow me and follow you or whatever, they understand that living life is not something that is on pause until the weight comes off, right?
Yeah. So beautiful, so important to remember.
So yeah, so how did you apply that to your day? Like what has it meant to you to know that, I mean, like, because we see the pure joy, the sitting in the car eating Chipotle with the kid, you know, like that kind of stuff. you know, there's a lot of people that would be fearful of doing that, that think that so many other things, variables in my life, prevent me from doing those kind of things, right? But like those moments, you can't ever have that back. And if you don't do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know it. I don't know how people do it with like sacrificing so much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, people do it. I mean, I know people are having success, but I guess that's just like one of the things about this journey is that everybody's different, and something that works for me isn't going to work for somebody else. Like, I don't think my lifestyle would work for someone necessarily that doesn't like working out.
Yeah.
Kind of have to find what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the truth. And that's why it's I get to have such a broad, diverse group of people to come on here. I mean, like 2 weeks ago, I had Lauren on here, and you've met Lauren. Y'all were in the same commercial and that kind of stuff. But your approach to WW might not be the exact same, right? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how you do it, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is like you fly the flag on the way you want to live your life, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
So, yeah. All right. So, a couple of things that I still want to get into. Or we can talk about activity a little bit. I mean, I know that you love that. So if there's something about that, how you do your activity, like what does it mean to you to hit the gym? What does it mean to you to like miss out on the gym? How does that affect you?
I feel like part of how it's like being a mom is like you don't get a lot of time for yourself or whatnot. So it's like more than just like feeling good physically, it's also like self-care. It's like, let's go to the gym and just put my music on and reflect and let out some steam. So when I don't get that, it's like stressful.
Yeah.
It's crazy how being active is both mental and physical.
Yeah. So what does it do for you mentally? Like if you don't get it, what does it do to you?
What does it do to me? I don't know.
Like, does it affect how you eat the rest of the day?
It can, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. Like if I don't get it in, sometimes it's nice to skip it, you know, but mentally I guess I would just be stressed out and would have to clear my head somehow. I don't know, I feel like it's important to find something that you like too. I feel like a lot of people just think like working out, they just have to do it in the gym, but there's like so many different forms of activity that you can do, and it's just all about finding something that you love.
Yeah. What is your one or two go-to activities?
Swimming and cycle.
Yeah. Get those pump on.
The best.
That's right. That's right. So how did you get into swimming? Like for me, swimming has always been, let's go to the pool, get in, swim to the deep end, and just float there for about an hour and a half and then go home.
That sounds so nice. I don't know. I've swam like my whole life, you know, swim team.
Yeah.
Swim, just like, and then I guess there was a large time in my life where I didn't swim, and I think it was just because of my size. Swimsuits are they were back in the day hard to come by for bigger girls, and then just not wanting to be in a swimsuit. But when I started putting activity into my life on Weight Watchers, and I was on WW, I started going again. I was like, screw it, get in that swimsuit, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So tell me about this. What did it mean to you the first time you got any kind of message from WW and they were like, I mean, they might have talked to you before then, but like, well, I know they talked to you before then, I guess, but anyway, they've talked to you multiple times because you've been in lots of productions. I've seen you in lots of things, trainings and all kinds of things, but I want to know about when they asked you to be an ambassador. What did that feel like for you?
Like I won the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only thing they talked to me about before that was they posted my picture in like a dress on their Instagram. I mean, that was like freaking amazing too.
Yeah.
But my good friend Kaylee was an ambassador before me, and she was featured on their Instagram as well. And I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. I want, and like I went to one of, so the, you know, we throw the parties as ambassadors. I went to one of her parties and I was just like, ah, this is a dream right here. I want to be an ambassador. So when they called me, I was like, ah, the best day ever.
Absolutely. It is the funnest thing ever to get to represent something that is so life-giving. And you know, and I'm not saying the benefits of being an ambassador are life-giving. I'm saying that WW is life-giving back to me, and that's why I love being able to talk about it. And I started doing this thing for almost a year, and it's just been amazing. So where did it went along this way? Like, was it this time, like since COSI, or whatever, did you start this Instagram? When did Instagram become a thing for you?
It was after I went to the ambassador party that my friend Kaylee threw, because I didn't have one, but a lot of people at the party were like, oh yeah, we're all on this Instagram, and I was like, I need my own Instagram.
Yeah.
Geez, yeah, best decision I ever made.
Absolutely.
Do you have 2 Instagrams or just one?
I have 2. My other one is just my name, like first name, first initial, middle initial, first form, my last name. It's also my Connect name, so it's not a secret. But anyway, yeah. But I had that, and for my first, do what?
You're about to gain a bunch of new followers.
Oh, I don't know about that. People won't follow me over there. All I do is post pictures of me and the kid and the wife. But they can. It's not a secret. Is what that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I had that Instagram, and there, like, it really, what's interesting is if you got over there and search through the pictures, you would probably see a lot of like my first year of the journey, because I didn't create this Instagram until I left to go to coach training in January of last year. So it is exactly a year old, like right now.
It's a baby still.
It's still a baby, yeah. And so I started this Instagram with 0 followers, and the first name that I had was WWPW Sing, which is just, I just added WW before it. So I created one, I had that one, just added WW in front of it. And I didn't really like that because it was long and it didn't mean anything. So I just changed it to www.phil, and like since then people have been able to find me, and it's been great. So
yeah.
But the reason I asked that is I always want to know, like, what has it meant for you to use Instagram to like tell your story, like to get all the words that are within you out, like even if they're disorganized and don't make sense, or it's the most eloquent thing you ever say, like what does it mean to you to get that out?
Oh gosh, it's almost like therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy because I'll just need to like vent and say something, and I might think it's the most like ridiculous thing ever, but then I'll get a few people that will be like, I agree, I know exactly what you're talking about. And like just that little connection right there is like, it's a beautiful thing. So it's amazing. I can't even remember what this whole process was like before this Instagram community.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing the things that we can have within ourselves, and the connections and the, I don't know, like all of the love and affection you can have for people that you don't necessarily know, like in real life. We do get the opportunity to meet up with a lot of people and that kind of stuff over time. But I mean, there's some people on here that like I talk to regularly and I care about as like true friends. I mean, at least the feeling is that way because of this community, and I just enjoy it. It's been life-giving for me, and I know that there are a lot of people that are able to do it better than me and do that kind of thing, and it's not a comparison thing. And like I've been able to separate and really just hone in on doing what I do best, and that's just be me. So part of that, I think, is what inspired me to like always follow you and like follow your stories and your posts and stuff like that. And it's just you living your life. Like I don't feel like I've ever seen you be fake one time while you're on there. It's just like, I mean,
shoot, I hope not.
Yeah, absolutely. Like who who would take the time to tell us about their secret candy stash in the basement?
Yeah. I feel like people say that, like, not necessarily just about me, but like other people too. It's like, you're so real. But then I'm like, who are you guys following that's like not real? You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I see a lot of realness on here.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do share a lot, maybe too much sometimes.
Well,
sure
you know, I mean, sometimes the story tiles up there get.
Yeah. But maybe I'm not real. I'm just like a lot.
No, you're perfect. So it's great.
Oh, too sweet.
All right. So since I'm being too sweet, I want to talk about one of the most, I don't know, I would say it's one of the most tender moments that I have seen. And
oh my God.
I would say that I am easily emotionally moved. That's just who I am. So I'll cry at the drop of a hat. I cry in my workshops when I share with people. It's just who I am. Yeah, I mean, I'm a softie. There's no denying that. But a year ago, almost to the T, you had what I would say is one of the most beautiful moments of all of the Instagram that I have ever seen. And that's when
God,
you're
freaking me out right now.
No, it's when you started people saying, I am, and I am beautiful.
Oh.
Like, that whole thing was, I've wanted you to do that again. I wanted to do it myself, but I was like, no, that's her thing to do. And like, I know you have it saved as a highlight on your reel, and people like may not even have known that happened a year ago. So I'm like, please do it again, because it was the most.
Yes, I mean, like, thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally one of the most beautiful things in that I've seen on here, and the reason why is because it is that bedrock seed that's planting for everyone to realize that they are. And they are worthy, and they are enough to say those things. I mean, like, it's the most randomest set of people that you restored there. Yeah, I mean, it's just great, right?
Oh,
what do you think?
God.
What do you think about that?
I think we need to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at me! I can't stop smiling. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know why it's making me think of this woman in my meeting again when, like, she randomly was like, yeah, I did something the other day and I felt beautiful. And it was like the first time. And then, like, I cried. I'm a softie too, as you know. And I'm just like, it's the most simple thing, but it makes the world of a difference. I loved that. I need to watch that highlight again, just hearing everybody say it. And then all the little kids got in on it. Did you ever do it?
I didn't, because, I mean, a year ago, like, my boldness was not quite to the level it was now. And so I think in that moment, like the week or 2 weeks that was kind of going on, it really catch fire with a lot of people. I mean, we could definitely, like, put the gas behind it now and get a lot of people to do it, I'm sure. But, you know, I just kind of watched and consumed it, and I was just kind of overwhelmed because what you're seeing in that moment is not just someone say the words. You're seeing someone say the words that likely hasn't said those words in a long time.
Exactly. Like, you could, on some of them, just, like, feel the feels when it came out of their mouth. You're just like,
yeah.
Dang.
Yes.
Yes. I love that you brought that up. That was a good.
I'm pretty good at what I do here.
Yeah, it's like, do you do this often?
Once a week.
You should do it. You should do it on your page. Do the I am beautiful. Do you have a large male population?
No, I mean, like 5% of what my followers, according to Instagram algorithms. So I have almost 11,000 followers, and 5% is not very many. So, but you know, maybe I can cater to the girls. I don't know.
I know, yeah, whoever, but like, I would love to see some guys saying it too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you started. I will definitely chime in, and I will make all the other WW bros say the same thing. That's for sure.
WW girls. Oh, yeah.
So
powerful.
It was literally one of the most beautiful moments that I've seen on here. There's been others and that kind of stuff, but it was really something that really touched me. And and it's made me think about like how I see myself. And I've actually gone through some courses on understanding trauma. I've gone through a course on understanding self-worth and finding your own self-worth. And I did that for myself, and I did it where I had to go through and process some stuff that I went through. And I did it so that I would know and understand, because I encounter so many people that have been through that kind of traumatic things in their life.
Wow.
Good, bad, hard, tough, all the stuff, and understand that. So, I mean, for me, I tried to create a moment right before Thanksgiving that was all about the whole empowerment to say that I am enough. So if you ever scroll down through my post, you'll see there's this big block that when it all put together, say I am enough. And I wrote all those words for that purpose, that like, I believe there's so much power in being able to get those memories and those emotions together and say that I really finally can believe that about myself. Like what, so one thing that I really wanted to know as we do this, like, where along the way did you find that part of you that felt like you were enough? That's a deep question, I know.
Right? I know. I don't know. I feel like it's so much more than like the Weight Watcher aspect of it. So I don't know if you want to go into
No.
it, but
Wherever you want to go.
I mean, getting out of an unhealthy relationship is obviously a really big one, because right there, that's saying, hey, I know I'm more than what I should be getting right here. And I need to respect myself because I wasn't being in a relationship like that. So leaving that, and then having WW like hold my hand through it all and like teach me things. Like that's the thing about WW, is like it's so much more than just losing weight. Like they're giving you tools for so many different aspects of your life. Yeah, I don't know. It was just when I left that relationship and I was on WW, 2017. I'm never going to forget that year. That's the year it was hashtag try new things. So I just like went out, put myself first, and did whatever the heck I wanted, and tried new things and fell in love with things, and then hated things, yoga. And it was the best thing ever. So just, yeah. Gosh, I don't even remember what the question was.
No. I mean, really, it's just you explaining all the things, all the steps that has got to where you are today, to where you can confidently say, I am okay with me. I love me. I'm beautiful. Yeah. I am not a finished product, and that's okay. You know, that kind of stuff. Because I feel like it's so easy to like pick yourself apart in the aspect of looking at how far you might have to go and seeing that distance is too far to see both ends. Like somewhere you can see the start, but you can't see the finish. Or you can walk over here and see where it would look like if you were at the finish, but you're so far away from the starting point that you don't know how to start. So that's one thing I think that WW does. It helps us realize that we don't have to see the end to enjoy the beginning.
Exactly. And we don't have to be at the end to enjoy it, or
the journey.
Like enjoy the whole thing. Like I think a lot of people get in this mindset like, hey, I need to lose 50 pounds, and once I get to that 50 pounds, then life's gonna be beautiful. It's like, no, let's enjoy the whole journey.
Absolutely. So I don't know how much exactly you want to talk about this. I mean, you've shared a ton with us, and we can talk about it as much or as little as you want, but like talk about how learning how to do WW with your own physical stuff that has been going on, and the changes you've had to make, and the choices you had to make to continue living, and all that kind of stuff. Like, what is it? How does that affected you?
It's been tough. Just the other day, I was looking at, because I have this number in my mind that I've lost 100 pounds. But then I looked in my app the other day, and I was like, when was the last time that I actually lost 100 pounds? And it was over a year ago. And I was like, wow. And it was right before surgery. So I'm just like, geez, surgery is a lot. You know, it's like since then I've had 3 surgeries, and I've actually had a few people message me and they're like, I'm about to have surgery. Like, how do you focus on like weight loss and WW when you're recovering? And like, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask, because my advice now is just take care of yourself, recover.
Yeah.
Like, don't be stressing about that.
Yeah.
Recovery is so important. So don't like push yourself to get back to the gym. Don't push yourself and try and like stick within your points. Like, I guess, like, I feel like your body is healing. Like, you might need more. Like, I don't know. It's hard. So
Yeah.
I obviously gained a bunch of weight through all of that, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for the process of losing weight. You have to be very engaged in the actual foods that you eat and the quantities you eat and that kind of stuff and how much activity you get.
Yeah.
And when you go through something like that, those things don't seem near as important. And so I can tell you, set those things down and don't worry about them. But if you'll promise me that you will love yourself and take care of yourself and think positively about yourself and try to heal, those things are just as healthy as whether or not you take the flour out of a piece of bread and put in some Greek yogurt or eat some Smart Sweets rather than gummy bears. Like, it's screw it. It's not, it doesn't matter. What matters is if you're loving yourself.
Yeah. And you'll always like, and I've always like, it's just like you said, like, we're on it for life. So it's like,
Yeah.
you're going to get back to it. Just take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And love yourself. Oh, I love that you're touching on that tonight.
It was good stuff. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, like, when you see yourself now start to struggle or maybe slip into bad habits or whatever, like maybe you're going through, I mean, like most of the time you pretty much tell us, at least for the last like year and a half, like, I got this goal coming up and it's this surgery and I want to do this and I'm going to be focused on this because I know that, surgery happens and then after that, Lord knows what's going to happen. And I understand that. Mm-hmm. But when you go through these periods of time where there's maybe not such a specific goal, like what do you do to keep your mind straight?
I don't know. I feel like that's what I'm dealing with right now. Is like,
okay,
now what? Now what do you want?
Yeah, I know you've been talking about trying to figure out and say, even your post today is like, I don't necessarily know exactly what the ultimate why is, right?
Yeah. I guess like we touched on earlier, the key is just like keep going to my meetings. Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I love it.
Because it's like I'm not like struggling, because it's like I'm so happy and I'm loving everything and I like how I look and I like how I feel. So it's just a weird place to be in. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, I think what we're looking at is you have to do all the mental work. And sometimes it's easy to get to something and then you accept it. And then by accepting it, you say, well, that's okay, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But you don't do the hard work of digging and saying, well, if I were to do this, maybe go deeper, I'm going to have to do this, this, and this. And that's going to take a lot of engagement and work to get there. And then, so maybe you declare that that's not, but then you have to like do the mental work and say, well, if I'm giving up on that, how long am I giving up on that? Is that a forever give up on it? Or is it just temporary? That kind of stuff. So I understand what you're talking about, like, because I mean, my personal journey, like the number that I have in mind is literally like 30 or 35 pounds higher than what WW would say is the number that would achieve lifetime. But I don't know that I could ever get there or want to get there. So I got to do all that thinking about that to say, where is good enough? And what am I accomplishing when I get to good enough, right? Yeah,
exactly. I feel like my end goal has changed. Has yours, like, throughout your journey?
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started, the only thing I knew that I wanted was I wanted to feel better. And now I feel 100 times better than I ever thought I could feel in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Yay! I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. So I just really want to like figure out, your process of going through your day, like just kind of break apart your day, because
Yeah.
you show us a lot of your day and that kind of stuff. You show us, coming back from work or taking lunch breaks and hanging out with the kid and all the stuff. But like, as you break down your day or your week, like, do you plan that, or do you willy-nilly a lot of it? I know you plan to go to meetings and you have to go to work and you have to take care of the kid. There's lots of things you have to do that you show us, but how do you make it work with all the other things in your life?
Yeah, I love to plan.
Okay. Yeah, you got the books, right? The planner books.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny because like I love to plan. I like to plan my workouts, but the only thing that I like don't plan is like meal prepping and stuff like that. That's the one thing I've never been good at, which I feel like I should probably work on. But yeah, no, I love planning out my week as far as workouts, and like when I can take time for myself. So I think that's my next goal, is to like work in food, because that is like, nothing stresses me out more when someone's like, can you tell me what you're eating like regularly? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Chipotle.
Chipotle, ho-hos, ding-dongs, what are you talking?
Yeah.
Pizza?
Like, what do you cook? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Pizza? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're just the ambassador of normal food. You're not the ambassador of WW food. You're the ambassador of normal food.
I mean, I don't know if I even say normal food. I'm an ambassador of like food chains.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that. Or like microwave meals, like Amy's casserole was a big one for a while. I'm like,
yeah,
this is kind of sad that this is what I've been known for on the gram, but I mean, that's real life right there.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would rather be known for being like just normal or approachable, or to do things that are averagely attainable, rather than to say that I'm always creating these crazy, out of control things that you can't duplicate or would want to spend the time duplicating. Because I don't think most people find real life in that spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people can go down to the frozen food aisle at Trader Joe's and grab one of those Amy's and rock it out the microwave.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of amazing things on my timeline. People are cooking up. I'm like, geez Louise. And my daughter and I live with you?
Yeah. Like, what? I don't know what I can offer to the family, but we could do some comedy, or I could show you how to ride a bike, take you for swim lessons.
Yeah, swim lessons. There you go. Yeah. Let's hope the next relationship I'm in, they're like, know how to cook.
Oh, we need to find you a chef. All right. I love it. So how did you land in the Pacific Northwest? What'd you say?
I was going to say, shout out to the chefs.
That's right. I don't know any single chefs, but I do know some chefs.
Okay, only single. Okay.
So how did you land in the Pacific Northwest? You been there your whole life? Oh, I guess it's breaking up. How did you land in the Pacific Northwest? Have you always been there?
Yes, I've lived here my whole life. In this like same house.
Wow. Okay.
As cheesy as that is. But yeah, no, I love it here.
I've never been to Washington State, so it's I need to come visit. Now that I know a bunch of people out there, you and Emily and Jen, and there's a girl who's basically like a sister to me, lives in, I can never say it right. How do you say it? Is it Puyallup?
Puyallup?
Puyallup. There we go. Puyallup.
Wait, how you say it better. Say it again.
I said Puyallup. Puyallup.
Yep. Puyallup. Yeah, no, you should come on down or come on over.
Yeah. We're stuck in the middle here in Oklahoma. It's everywhere here. But anyway. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So what is the thing, I always like to know, like what thing do you still feel like you still struggle with? You've got all these years of experience of doing WW. You know all the right things to do, but what thing is the thing that's still like, that got me again?
Man, that's a really good question. That got me again. That's too funny. Um, hmm. I guess I don't know if I like the term binge eating.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I've never been like I'm a binge eater. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know about. We'll just put that to the side. But
Okay.
I like to call it when the animal comes out inside me, and then I just like eat a lot.
Yeah.
Like in the kitchen. I guess that is binging. I don't know. We're not gonna call it that though.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess like how to stop that in the moment is still something that I'm working on. Cause like give me like literally like 2 minutes in the kitchen. Girl can put in some work with some candy.
Yeah.
So
do you
trying to
feel like
figure
you
out
have to control like the home environment a little bit? I mean, I know that's why you basically have a box in the cellar, right?
right? Yeah. Definitely. I think it's hard living with my mom that, you know, it's like not all just like my stuff. Yeah, it's funny that you bring up like my stash in the basement because I don't even feel like it's necessarily that's the issue. I don't even
Yeah.
know. Yeah, because like I ate like that the other day and I didn't even open up my stash, but I just was like finding like random stuff like my daughter's Nutella. Like I was like, I never have toast, but I was like Nutella all over it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like don't bring it into your house. A lot of people tell me that, and it's true. But that's also just not the kind of life that I want to live, where I can't bring stuff into my house. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So do you feel like maybe that's some level of the lack of engagement that allows you to have the mental space to go eat and eat and eat, whereas if you were engaged in a conversation like this or a phone call or a walk or whatever, it might actually engage that part of your brain that wants to eat?
Yeah. You mean like just trying to figure out, like that's something that I've been working on, is like trying to figure out what may have caused me to get to that point in the first place. Because it's hard when you're in that moment to stop. So trying to find healthy ways to not ever get there in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they say that every behavior is some sort of unmet need. So
Yeah.
it's being able to assess what your body needs and really be cognizant of what's going on in your body. I mean, that's why the little challenges, kind of like the stop, drop, and chug, exist. It's like, oh, yes, I need to drink my water. That is a fact. My body does well when I drink water, but sometimes I need to put water into me so that it's not putting in Snicker bars or extra M&Ms and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up the stop, drop, and chug. That's one thing I never do. But
Yeah.
you bring up a good point, though. It is important.
So we can start a hashtag hack Jana's life.
Yeah. Make her do the stop, drop, and chugs.
That's right. That's right. If we can get everybody that I know and you know, to be like, all right, everybody at 4:00, send me a tag, and my Instagram will blow up, and maybe I'll drink some water.
Oh gosh, yes. No, water's amazing.
But you know what's also amazing? A rice bowl with some beans and some Chipotle chicken and some.
It sure is. I had it
and
today.
I love the way Cody eats the cheese. That is life. I love that with all my being. Just watching her go.
Cheese is life, man.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. All right. So we know that you have been able to overcome lots of things that were put on you through your body and that kind of stuff. And we know that you have found some happiness and the love for that. But what do you feel like is your proudest moment over like the last 3 or 4 years or whatever? And it could be, you could be super proud of how great of a mom you are. That is totally fine. It does not have to be WW related. But I just want to know, like, what what is opened up in your heart and soul to say that this is what I am proud of? Because I feel like you opening up about that will really show people that they can open up about themselves as well, because they're going to have a similar something in their life, right?
Mm-hmm. Huh. That's a really good question. Yeah, the whole medical thing, that was, it felt good opening up about that and having a lot of people open up about it as well. And like going, like I had a few people message me and say that they actually like made a doctor's appointment because of me talking about everything. And I was like, wow, that's like huge. But thinking about what I'm most proud about, I don't think that aspect of my life is what came to my mind first. I think I'm most proud of like my confidence and my self-love with myself, and teaching others that it's a process to love yourself, but it's worth it. Because I get a lot of people that ask me like, how do you do it? Like, how did you like find confidence? And I don't know. And that one's really important to me, and it's a beautiful thing when other people find it and are working towards it. So that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud that I put myself first, and I'm loving myself at every stage.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, every time that like I've really engaged in your story, and beyond just watching silly things that happen in the car and you digging through a snack bag or that kind of stuff, like the true you when you're giving it away, when you're sharing your heart and soul, it's really been some of the most beautiful stuff, because you've just been so real. And like I've always perceived that it's the most genuine stuff, and beyond that, it's just you walking through those moments and actually like being vulnerable. And that is one of the most beautiful things that can ever happen for a human being on earth, is to allow that vulnerability to be out there, because when it is truly accepted, it is a true connection of souls. And that's really a beautiful thing that you bring to us. So I appreciate
you are so sweet. I can't handle this. Thank you.
No, I'm just appreciative of you, because it's people like you that inspire us. Like, yes, maybe I'm an inspiring person, and yes, I get to do this every week and all the things, but it's because of people like you for the last 2 years that have inspired me to find this within me. So I would say that there are seeds within me that were laid by you. And for sure, what I was talking about a year ago, one of the most beautiful moments I've ever experienced in my life was watching those people find that within themselves. And true inspiration like that is just beautiful. And I hope that we can duplicate that again and again and again, because it needs to happen, because liberation comes with that.
Yeah. I hope we're not going to end this live until you say the line, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Say it on here.
I will say it. There's no problem.
Oh gosh, do you remember how that all started? Why I brought that up?
I don't know the genesis of that. I mean, I remember watching them in real time, and then I went back and a couple times and watched your story highlight that you saved. But I don't know how that first happened. Tell us.
Yeah. It's funny because it was actually because of WW. When they were interviewing me one time, they said, how would you describe yourself in 3 words? On the spot. They didn't tell me ahead of time. So first off, words are hard for me. So I was like, what? I think I was like, I'm optimistic. I don't even remember the second one. And then the third one, I randomly said, I'm beautiful. And the second it came out of my mouth, I had all these emotions of like, I cannot believe you just said that. And then at the same time, I was like, I cannot believe you just said that. And then I started to cry, and I was like, I have never said that about myself out loud in front of other people. And it was like such a beautiful moment, like just how we saw other people say it on the stories. I had that moment, and it was so crazy. But then I also talked about how I told my mom I said that, and she was like, why would you say that about yourself? And so that's a whole nother story to it. But
thanks, Mom.
Yeah, right. Because I am. So it just like then it got me thinking about how silly it is, but how powerful it is to just say that and truly mean it. So that's nice.
Absolutely. I mean, for this big old softy, it truly has gotten me. And like, I don't know who all would be watching this ultimately. I do now save them and share them onto YouTube. So ultimately, this video could last for a while and people get to watch it. But you know, it's worth going to your profile and finding that I Am Beautiful highlight and watching them all, because it is some of the most vulnerable moments for those people in that period of time. Yes, they may have grown now and be the most bold person you would ever see. Hopefully, that for sure they have. I know for sure one of them is my friend Katie, and that girl's a fireball. But you know, so it's just so beautiful to see that moment grow in people, to finally say it and understand it a little bit, not perfectly, I'm sure, but just a little bit, and move through that part of our life, because no one should withhold that moment from us.
Yeah. I know. Yay. I'm glad you brought that up. We need to do it again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I always like to end this, and I will go ahead and say that I am Phil and I am beautiful.
Yay!
So we'll save that for you. But I always like to end this. We got like 3 or 4 minutes before Instagram cuts us off right at the top of the hour. These are crazy. So it will just die here in a few minutes. So get ready. But I always leave a little space for you to ask me if you would like to know anything about me for the last couple of minutes.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Because you're a coach.
Mm-hmm. What's your first like memory of me? Like, when obviously I followed you long before you followed me, probably because I had 0 followers and you had some. But so what's your first memory of like our interaction?
A good question.
Ooh.
I'm not even sure, but now I want to go into our DMs and scroll to the very top.
What was he asking me about that for?
I don't know, but I think that this is so cool. Like, what made you want to start this? What is today? Thursday Night Lives. I think it's amazing.
So the first one I did with our bro Anthony, who was on here earlier, and it was just so much fun. Yeah. So me and him just went live, and we did it on, I think it was actually on a Tuesday night. And so I was kind of like sensing the pulse around there. He's doing his podcast on Monday nights, and I was like, you know, we'll have to figure out a different night. And Thursday nights kind of worked better for me. And I kind of did some research of whether or not anybody was regularly doing these, and no one was. And then I figured out some kind of Instagram stuff about the best time to engage with people, and it was like 8 to 10 p.m. Central Time is typically the highest level of involvement. So I'll just do it. So then I asked Becca, who I went to coach training with, to do it, and then I asked Evan to do it, and Evan has passed away. And then it was like I was like, I think I could do this and start planning it out and get more and more people to come, and then just snowballed. And I have done it every week since, even after Christmas. The only one I skipped was in August. I skipped a Thursday live because I went to see Hamilton, the Broadway show. So I didn't do one on that Thursday, but I did one on Wednesday of that week with Renee, our fellow ambassador.
Oh my gosh, you have such a good memory.
Yeah. But I've got it all planned out. I got another ambassador coming on next week, and it's planned out all the way to May right now.
Oh my gosh, I remember you're like, in like 3 months, do you want to go live? I was like, what?
I can't plan my life that far ahead.
I can't. So I'm glad it worked out.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that what happened to you that allowed us to not do it the first time happened to you, because that was amazing.
Thank you.
Every morning when I'm drinking my coffee, you and y'all just walk onto my TV and like strutting down the street carrying a pizza.
Yeah, hanging out with Oprah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you met Oprah?
No.
No.
Ish.
You?
Nope.
I'm going to the Oprah thing in like 2 weeks though, when it's in
Oh
Dallas.
my gosh, that's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah. I don't think I can walk in there and be like, I'm an ambassador. I want to meet her.
Right? Send it to her. You can try.
Yeah, I could try, get thrown out.